Divorce. The one word Kody Brown never expected to hear from the lips of his supposedly devoted fourth wife. And yet here we are, folks. Reports are exploding across every corner of the internet that Robyn Brown, the woman who systematically outlasted every single sister wife, the queen who claimed the throne after years of family warfare, has allegedly threatened Kody with the very thing that has already claimed 3 of his marriages. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife and serve it for dessert. Let us be brutally honest about what we are witnessing here. This is not just another chapter in the never-ending Brown family saga. This is potentially the final collapse of everything Kody spent decades building, and the architect of that collapse might just be the one person he thought would never betray him. Sources close to the situation are claiming that Robyn discovered something in their real estate dealings that shattered whatever trust remained between them. One insider put it bluntly: she thought she was his partner, but she found out she was just another pawn in his game. Think about the delicious cosmic poetry of this moment. Christine left and found happiness. Janelle walked away and rediscovered herself. Mary finally stopped clinging to a dead marriage. And through it all, Robyn sat there in her $1 million Flagstaff mansion, presumably smug in her position as the last wife standing. She won, or so she thought. She got Kody all to herself. She got the house. She got the attention. She got everything she allegedly schemed to obtain for years. And now, according to multiple reports, she is discovering that winning the Kody Brown sweepstakes might just be the worst prize in reality television history. The legal documents and financial records that have surfaced paint a picture of a marriage built on a foundation of sand and secrets. Robyn allegedly believed she was an equal partner in every decision, that her husband valued her input and kept her informed about their financial situation. What she reportedly discovered instead was a pattern of manipulation so extensive that even she, the woman many fans accused of being the master manipulator herself, was left reeling. One source close to the family described her reaction as devastated and furious in equal measure. Fans who have followed the Brown family for over a decade are watching this unfold with a mixture of shock and satisfaction. For years, the narrative painted Robyn as the favored wife, the one who could do no wrong in Kody's eyes. Now it appears that favoritism came with strings attached. Strings Robyn did not even know existed until she started pulling at them. The property dealings, the financial decisions, the loans taken out without proper consultation, all of it allegedly came crashing down on her at once. And her response, according to insiders, was to do something no one expected from her. But before we dive into exactly what Robyn discovered that pushed her to the breaking point, we need to understand the tangled financial web that the Brown family has woven over the years. And trust me when I say it is messier than anything you could imagine. The Brown family real estate empire, if you can even call it that anymore, has become a case study in how not to manage money when you have multiple wives, countless children, and an ego the size of Arizona. Kody has spent years shuffling properties like a 3-card Monte dealer on a street corner, and Robyn allegedly just discovered she was never playing with a full deck. Sources reveal that she genuinely believed she was Kody's equal partner in every financial decision. The woman who uprooted her life multiple times, who moved from state to state at his command, who defended his increasingly erratic behavior to anyone who would listen, thought she at least had a seat at the table. She was wrong. The financial picture that has emerged is nothing short of staggering. Kody and Robyn recently took out a massive loan against their Flagstaff property, a move that raised eyebrows among fans and financial analysts alike. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars leveraged against a home that was already a point of contention among the sister wives. One industry expert familiar with their situation described it as robbing Peter to pay Paul, except Peter is already broke and Paul is starting to ask questions. The loan documents revealed a level of debt that allegedly blindsided Robyn completely. But here is where it gets even more troubling. Robyn apparently believed that she and Kody were making these decisions together. She thought they discussed major financial moves before making them. What she discovered, according to those close to the couple, was that Kody had been making significant decisions without her knowledge or consent for years. Property shifts, leveraging agreements, sales discussions, all happening behind her back while she smiled for the cameras and defended him against criticism. One insider put it bluntly: she finally saw the receipts, and they did not match what he had been telling her. This is not just about money, though the sums involved are certainly eye-popping. This is about Robyn realizing that her entire position in this marriage may have been built on lies. She traded sisterhood for what she thought was partnership. She watched Christine walk away. She saw Janelle draw her line in the sand. She witnessed Mary finally accept that her marriage existed in name only. And through all of it, Robyn apparently told herself that she was different, that Kody treated her differently, that their relationship was real in a way the others were not. The financial revelations allegedly showed her just how wrong she was. Let us be clear about what sources are saying. This is not a woman who suddenly developed a conscience about how the other wives were treated, though that would be a refreshing twist. This is a woman who allegedly discovered that the man she sacrificed everything for had been playing her just like he played everyone else. The difference is that Robyn thought she was on the inside of the scheme. Finding out she was just another mark must have been a bitter pill to swallow. The specific property manipulation that reportedly pushed Robyn over the edge involves decisions that directly impacted what she believed was her financial security. We are not talking about small matters here. We are talking about the roof over her head, the future she planned for her children, the stability she thought she had earned by being the loyal wife, and apparently none of it was as secure as Kody led her to believe. The Coyote pass debacle has become the symbol of everything wrong with Kody Brown's financial decision-making, and what Robyn allegedly discovered about those dealings is enough to make anyone's blood boil. For years, fans watched as the family poured money into that undeveloped land, watched as promises were made about building homes and creating a family compound, watched as absolutely nothing materialized except excuses and finger-pointing. What Robyn reportedly found in the paperwork tells a story of manipulation that goes far deeper than simple incompetence. Let us break down what sources are alleging. The Coyote Pass property was supposed to be divided among all the wives, each getting her own plot to build her dream home. That was the plan sold to the family and to the viewers. Instead, the property has sat there bleeding money through taxes and maintenance while Robyn lived comfortably in a rental-turned-purchase that cost well over $800,000. The other wives got promises. Robyn got a mansion, but even that mansion, according to insiders, came with strings Robyn did not fully understand. The million-dollar Flagstaff home has been a source of controversy since the day it was revealed. Critics pointed out the hypocrisy of Robyn living in luxury while the other wives struggled. Defenders argued she needed the space for her children, but what neither side knew, and what Robyn herself allegedly did not fully comprehend, was how the property was being leveraged and manipulated behind the scenes. One source described it as a financial shell game where the only winner was Kody's immediate needs. Consider this for a moment. Christine left the family and managed to buy her own home, start her own business, and build her own life without Kody's financial web entangling her. Janelle chose an RV and then rental properties, maintaining her independence and her sanity. Mary has her bed and breakfast empire and her online business ventures. Meanwhile, Robyn sat in her big house, believing she had won the lottery, not realizing she was potentially sitting on a financial time bomb. The irony is absolutely staggering. Sources claim that Robyn discovered properties being discussed for sale without her input, financial arrangements being made without her signature on the relevant documents, and decisions being presented to her as done deals rather than conversations. One insider described her reaction as finally seeing the man behind the curtain. For someone who prided herself on being Kody's true partner, the realization that she was being managed rather than consulted allegedly hit her like a ton of bricks. The other wives lost out on property promises, that much is well documented. But they also gained their freedom, their self-respect, and the chance to build something real without Kody's constant interference. Robyn stayed and got the house, but insiders say what she found in the paperwork made her question whether she got anything of real value at all. The mansion that was supposed to symbolize her victory may actually symbolize her captivity in a marriage built on financial deception. But the property issues are just the tip of the iceberg. Insiders say Robyn found something even more disturbing buried in the financial records, something that made her question every single thing Kody had ever told her about their money situation. The massive loan that Kody and Robyn recently secured against their Flagstaff property has become the smoking gun in this financial disaster, and the numbers involved are enough to make your head spin. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars leveraged against what was supposed to be Robyn's secure future. The question that everyone is asking, and that Robyn herself allegedly started demanding answers to, is simple. Where exactly is all this money going? Let us dive into the speculation that is swirling around this loan. Some sources suggest this is simply refinancing to survive, a desperate measure to keep the bills paid and the lights on now that the sister wives' gravy train has effectively derailed. Others are suggesting something far more troubling, that money is disappearing into ventures and expenses that Robyn knew nothing about. One insider described it as watching someone burn through cash with no plan for tomorrow. Neither scenario paints Kody in a flattering light, and both scenarios allegedly contributed to Robyn's divorce threat. Here's where it gets particularly infuriating. While the family finances are apparently in such dire straits that they needed to leverage their home, sharp-eyed fans have spotted pricey art sculptures at the Brown residence. We are not talking about $20 prints from the home goods store. We are talking about pieces that cost thousands of dollars appearing while the family supposedly cannot make ends meet. One observer put it perfectly: they are crying poor while decorating like they are on an HGTV makeover show. The disconnect between their stated financial struggles and their apparent spending habits is genuinely mind-boggling. Robyn allegedly started asking questions that Kody did not want to answer. Where is the TLC money going? Why do they need such a massive loan if the show is still paying them? What exactly are their monthly expenses that requires this level of debt? And most importantly, why was she not consulted before major financial decisions were made? Sources say Kody's answers were evasive at best and outright defensive at worst. For a man who demanded respect and obedience from 4 wives, being questioned by the one wife he thought was completely under his control allegedly did not go over well. The financial house of cards that the Browns have built is showing cracks everywhere you look. They owe on the Flagstaff mansion. They still have the Coyote Pass property eating money with no development in sight. The TLC income, while substantial, apparently is not enough to cover their lifestyle. And somewhere in all of this, Robyn allegedly realized she had no real idea where any of it was going. One source close to the family said she started keeping her own records after discovering discrepancies. Let that sink in for a moment. The wife is keeping secret financial records because she does not trust her own husband. The contrast between their public image and their private reality has never been more stark. On camera, they presented themselves as a family building a future together. Behind closed doors, according to multiple sources, Kody was making financial decisions that served his interests while leaving everyone else, including his supposedly favored wife, in the dark. Robyn allegedly discovered she was no different from Christine or Janelle or Mary when it came to being kept out of the loop. A former insider has started talking about what they witnessed during their time with the family, and what they are revealing adds gasoline to an already raging fire: the nanny. 2 words that have haunted the Brown family narrative since the pandemic revealed that Kody's strict social distancing rules apparently had exceptions for hired help. Now, according to multiple reports, someone who worked inside that Flagstaff household is finally breaking their silence, and what they are allegedly revealing paints a picture of a marriage in crisis long before the divorce threats went public. Folks, grab your popcorn because this tea is scalding hot. Sources claim that former household staff witnessed tension that went far beyond normal marital disagreements. We are talking about arguments about money, about decisions, about the future that allegedly grew more frequent and more intense over time. One insider who claims knowledge of the situation described the atmosphere as walking on eggshells constantly. The picture being painted is not of a happy couple enjoying their victory over the departed sister wives. It is of 2 people trapped in a situation that neither one fully understood until it was too late to easily escape. The details being shared about Robyn's growing frustration are particularly illuminating. According to those who claim to have witnessed it firsthand, Robyn began questioning Kody more openly, pushing back against decisions she previously would have accepted without comment. One source described it as watching someone wake up from a very long sleep. The woman who spent years going along with everything Kody wanted allegedly started demanding explanations, and Kody reportedly did not handle the shift in dynamic well at all. Let us talk about Kody's alleged controlling behavior, because multiple sources are painting a consistent picture here. The man who publicly preached about respecting wives and valuing their input apparently ran his household very differently behind closed doors. Financial decisions made unilaterally, schedules controlled without consultation, information shared on a need-to-know basis, with Kody deciding who needed to know what. Staff members allegedly witnessed this dynamic play out repeatedly, giving them a front row seat to a marriage that looked very different from its television portrayal. The credibility question is important here. When only family members speak, there is always room to dismiss their accounts as biased or exaggerated. But when household staff, people with no stake in the family drama beyond having witnessed it, start confirming the same patterns, it becomes much harder to dismiss. One observer noted that having employees corroborate the dysfunction adds a layer of verification that casual viewers cannot ignore. These are not disgruntled ex-wives with axes to grind. These are people who were paid to be in that home and saw things they cannot unsee. What the nanny and other staff members allegedly witnessed was a woman slowly realizing she had been sold a bill of goods. Robyn apparently believed she was the exception, the one wife Kody truly loved and respected. What she allegedly saw reflected back at her through the observations of household staff was something far less flattering. She was controlled, she was managed, she was kept in line through the same techniques Kody had used on all his wives. toys, just wrapped in prettier packaging. The realization, according to sources, was devastating. But the nanny's revelations were just the beginning of Robyn's awakening. What she allegedly discovered next about her own position in this marriage made everything else pale in comparison. The emotional toll of Robyn's alleged discoveries cannot be overstated, and sources close to the situation say she is only now fully comprehending the price she paid for her so-called victory. She traded sisterhood for what she thought was partnership. She watched 3 women walk away from Kody, women she shared a family with for years. And she stayed. She defended him against their accusations. She supported his decisions. She chose him over them, over and over again. And according to insiders, she is now realizing she traded relationships with 3 women who tried to warn her for a crumbling kingdom built on lies. Christine saw it first and had the courage to leave. Fans watched her transformation from defeated sister wife to thriving independent woman with something approaching awe. She bought her house. She started her business. She found love again. She built a life that Robyn allegedly looked at with what sources describe as growing envy and confusion. How could the woman who left have ended up happier than the woman who stayed? One insider claims Robyn has asked that exact question out loud. Janelle drew her line when Kody tried to control her relationship with her adult children. She chose a recreational vehicle over his rules, and she never looked back. The woman who spent decades trying to make plural marriage work finally decided it was not worth the cost. Sources say Robyn watched Janelle's departure and genuinely did not understand it at the time. Now, allegedly, she understands it all too well. Janelle saw the manipulation for what it was and refused to play the game anymore. Robyn stayed at the table and kept losing without even knowing the cards were marked. Even Mary, the first wife who clung to her spiritual marriage long past its expiration date, eventually found her peace. She has her businesses, her community, her life outside of Kody's shadow. The woman everyone pitied for staying too long finally walked away and started thriving. The pattern is impossible to ignore. Every woman who left Kody ended up better off. The one who stayed is allegedly threatening divorce over financial manipulation. Let that irony marinate for a moment. Fan theories about Robyn's mindset have exploded across social media. Some believe she genuinely loved Kody and is devastated to discover the truth about their marriage. Others suspect she knew exactly what she was doing when she positioned herself as the favorite wife and is only upset now that the favored treatment apparently came with hidden costs. One popular theory suggests Robyn is finally experiencing exactly what Christine, Janelle, and Mary tried to warn her about for years. The manipulation, the control, the financial games, she just refused to see it when it was happening to others. Sources close to Robyn say her realization has been brutal. She allegedly believed Kody's promises. She trusted that their relationship was different, special, real, in a way the other marriages were not. Finding out she was apparently just another piece on his chessboard, moved around according to his needs without genuine consultation or partnership, has reportedly shaken her to her core. One insider described her as grieving the marriage she thought she had while trying to figure out what to do about the marriage. She actually has. The divorce threat was not just words thrown in anger, according to multiple sources. Robyn allegedly took concrete steps that prove she is serious about protecting herself. Steps that have Kody more worried than he has ever been. Here is where the situation escalates from marital tension to full-blown legal drama. According to multiple sources, Robyn Brown has quietly met with divorce attorneys to discuss her options. Let that sink in for a moment. The woman who was supposed to be Kody's ride or die, his loyal wife, his partner through thick and thin, has allegedly been consulting with lawyers about how to exit this marriage with her interests protected. This is not speculation about hurt feelings or heated arguments. This is reportedly a woman taking concrete legal steps. The stakes involved in a potential Robyn Brown divorce are absolutely staggering when you break them down. First, there is the Flagstaff mansion itself, the property that has been at the center of so much controversy. Any divorce would require determining how that asset gets divided, especially given the massive loan recently taken against it. Arizona is a community property state, which means anything acquired during the marriage is typically split 50-50. But with the amount of debt apparently attached to their assets, Robyn might be fighting over who gets stuck with the bills rather than who gets the prize. Then there is the question of any remaining Coyote Pass claims. That undeveloped land has been nothing but a money pit, but it is still an asset on paper. How would that be divided in a divorce? Would Kody retain it and its associated costs? Would Robyn have any claim to it or be obligated to contribute to its expenses? These are questions that divorce attorneys specialize in answering, and the fact that Robyn is allegedly asking them suggests she is taking this extremely seriously. The TLC income adds another layer of complexity. family. The show has been their primary source of income for over a decade. How would that revenue be divided in a divorce? Would Robyn continue appearing if she and Kody split? Would the network even want to continue the show without the central drama of their marriage? Sources say these are exactly the kinds of questions Robyn allegedly discussed with legal counsel, indicating she is thinking several moves ahead. Let us be clear about what this legal consultation represents. This is not a woman venting to friends or posting cryptic messages on social media. This is someone sitting down with professionals who specialize in extracting people from marriages while protecting their financial interests. One legal expert familiar with high-profile divorces noted that consulting with attorneys is often the first step in a carefully planned exit strategy. Robyn is allegedly not just threatening, she is preparing. The timing of these consultations is particularly noteworthy. Sources suggest Robyn sought legal advice after discovering the extent of the financial manipulation, not before. This was allegedly a reactive move, not a premeditated scheme. She found out her husband had been making major decisions without her knowledge, realized her financial security might be at risk, and took steps to protect herself. That is not the action of a drama queen looking for attention. That is the action of a woman who finally understood she needed protection from her own husband. But Kody's reaction to learning about Robyn's legal consultations allegedly revealed something about his character that even his biggest critics might find surprising. The man who watched 3 wives walk out his door apparently never considered that his 4th might follow them. Kody's alleged reaction to Robyn's divorce threat has been described by sources as a mixture of panic, denial, and frantic attempts to regain control of a situation that has clearly slipped through his fingers. The patriarch, who once ruled over a family of nearly 24 people, is allegedly terrified of losing the one person he thought would never leave him. Sources close to the situation described Kody as blindsided by Robyn's threat. He reportedly believed their relationship was solid, that she understood and supported his decisions, that her loyalty was unconditional. Finding out she had consulted with divorce attorneys allegedly shook him to his core. One insider described his initial reaction as disbelief, followed by anger, followed by desperate bargaining. The stages of grief apparently apply to learning your favorite wife might actually leave you. Let us talk about the power dynamic shift happening here, because it is genuinely unprecedented in Brown family history. For years, Kody held all the cards. He decided which wife got his time and attention. He made financial decisions and expected compliance. He set rules and demanded they be followed. The wives who pushed back eventually left. The wife who stayed, Robyn, was rewarded for her compliance with his presence and his favor. But now, according to sources, Robyn is the one holding leverage, and Kody apparently has no idea how to handle it. Kody's history with wives who challenge him is well documented and not pretty. When Christine expressed unhappiness, he dismissed her concerns until she actually packed her bags. When Janelle drew boundaries around her children, he chose his rules over his relationship with her. When Mary attempted to reconnect, he made clear the spiritual marriage was essentially meaningless to him. His pattern is one of dismissal until departure becomes reality. Now Robyn has allegedly forced him to confront the possibility of losing her, and sources say he is flailing. The attempts to regain control have reportedly been almost comical in their desperation. Promises to include her in decisions going forward, claims that he never meant to leave her out of anything important, assurances that their financial situation is not as bad as she thinks. One insider described it as watching a con man try to sell the same con to a mark who finally figured out the trick. Robyn has allegedly seen behind the curtain, and no amount of fast talking is going to unsee it for her. What Kody apparently failed to anticipate is that Robyn, unlike the other wives, has no sisterhood to flee to. She cannot leave and find support from women who went through the same thing because those women were hurt by her perceived role in the family dysfunction. If Robyn leaves, she leaves alone. But sources say she has apparently decided that being alone might be better than being married to a man she can no longer trust. That realization has allegedly terrified Kody more than anything else. The ex-wives have been watching this drama unfold from the sidelines, and their alleged reactions are as complicated as you might expect from women who lived through their own versions of Kody's manipulation. Christine, Janelle, and Mary have front-row seats to the implosion of Robyn's marriage, and sources say their reactions range from vindication to complicated sympathy to outright skepticism. These 3 women spent years watching Robyn receive preferential treatment, years being told that their marriages failed because of their own shortcomings while Robyn supposedly thrived. Now the supposedly perfect marriage is allegedly falling apart, and the ex-wives are processing that reality in very different ways. Christine has been the most vocal about her post-divorce happiness, and sources say her reaction to Robyn's situation is measured but not without a hint of satisfaction. She allegedly told friends that she is not surprised, that she saw this coming years ago. show. Christine warned the family about Kody's manipulation. She pointed out the favoritism. She said the relationship was unhealthy, and she was dismissed as jealous, as bitter, as the problem. Now Robyn is allegedly discovering everything Christine tried to tell her, and Christine reportedly takes no joy in being right, but is not exactly crying about it either. Janelle's alleged reaction is more complicated. Sources close to her say she has expressed something resembling sympathy for Robyn's situation, tempered by frustration that it took financial betrayal for Robyn to see what was obvious to everyone else. Janelle supposedly told confidants that Robyn ignored years of red flags because she was benefiting from them. Only when the manipulation started hurting Robyn personally did she finally object. Whether that qualifies as an awakening or just self-interest remains debatable in Janelle's view, according to those who know her. Mary's perspective is perhaps the most nuanced of all. She spent years trying to repair a relationship that was never going to be repaired, and she knows better than anyone how Kody can make you believe things that are not true. Sources say Mary has expressed genuine empathy for what Robyn must be feeling, that moment when you realize the man you devoted your life to was never who you thought he was. At the same time, Mary allegedly remembers how Robyn benefited from her marginalization and finds it difficult to feel too sorry for her. Fan speculation has gone wild about whether Robyn might reach out to the sister wives she once displaced. Would Christine take her call? Would Janelle offer advice? Would Mary extend an olive branch? The internet is divided, with some hoping for a reconciliation storyline and others arguing that Robyn made her bed and now has to lie in it alone. One popular theory suggests Robyn will not reach out because doing so would require admitting she was wrong about everything, and her pride will not allow that admission. The cultural commentary around this situation has been fascinating to observe. Many see this as karma finally catching up to Robyn, the universe delivering consequences for years of perceived manipulation and favoritism seeking. Others argue that Robyn was just as much a victim of Kody's manipulation as the other wives, just in a different way. She was love-bombed into compliance while the others were neglected into departure. Either way, she ends up a woman realizing too late that she bet on the wrong horse. Whether this ends in divorce or some kind of reconciliation, one thing is absolutely certain: the Brown family as we knew it has been fundamentally and permanently altered. The sister wives saga has taken more dramatic turns than a soap opera, but what we are witnessing now might just be the final act. Legal drama, financial manipulation, a marriage that millions watched unfold now allegedly crumbling under the weight of secrets and betrayal. Robyn Brown, the woman who many believed engineered the destruction of a plural family, is now allegedly considering destroying the only thing she has left: her marriage to the man she supposedly won in that family's dissolution. Let us summarize what sources are claiming. Kody allegedly made major financial decisions without consulting his wife. Properties were leveraged, loans were taken, money was spent in ways that Robyn knew nothing about until she started digging. The woman who believed she was an equal partner discovered she was apparently just another person being managed by a man who trusted no one with the full picture of their finances. That betrayal, according to insiders, is what pushed her to consult with divorce attorneys and threaten to end their marriage. The possible outcomes here are wildly varied and endlessly entertaining to speculate about. Scenario 1, Robyn follows through with divorce and joins her former sister wives in the club of women who survived Kody Brown. She fights for her share of assets, potentially leaving Kody with a mountain of debt and no one left to share it. Scenario 2, they reconcile, Kody makes promises he may or may not keep, and the cycle continues until the next crisis. Scenario 3, this is all strategically leaked for a TLC storyline, and we are watching a masterclass in reality television manipulation. The skeptics among the audience, and there are many, point out that the Browns have been playing the publicity game for over a decade. Every scandal, every departure, every reconciliation has been content for the show. Is Robyn's divorce threat real, or is it a negotiating tactic for better contract terms? Is she genuinely devastated, or is she performing devastation for cameras that are never truly off? These questions are fair, even if they feel cynical. This family has given us plenty of reasons to question their narrative. But here is what feels different about this situation. The financial documents are public record. The loan against the property is verifiable. The pattern of spending and debt is observable. If Robyn was truly blindsided by the family's financial situation, her reaction is understandable regardless of how it might benefit their television narrative. Sometimes reality and reality television converge in ways that are genuinely uncomfortable for everyone involved. Robyn's next move could genuinely redefine the entire Sister Wives legacy. If she divorces Kody, the narrative shifts from one woman winning the polygamy battle to every woman eventually losing by staying with this man. If she stays, she becomes a cautionary tale about ignoring red flags until they set your house on fire. Either way, fans will be watching, commentating, and dissecting every development for months or years to come. So here is the question that everyone wants answered. Do you think Robyn will actually follow through with divorce? Or is this just leverage to regain control in a marriage where she never had as much power as she believed? Is she genuinely awakening to who Kody really is? Or is she playing a longer game that we cannot see yet? The answers will reveal themselves eventually, but until then, the speculation is half the fun. One thing is certain. Kody Brown built a family empire on the foundation of plural marriage, and he has watched it collapse one wife at a time. Now the last remaining pillar is showing cracks, and he may finally be about to learn what the other women discovered before him, that manipulation only works until the person being manipulated opens their eyes. Robyn's eyes are allegedly open now. What she does with what she sees will determine whether this story ends with one more woman finding freedom, or one more season of a couple pretending everything is fine while the house burns down around them.